Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I am so excited to be back with you with a bloom tonight. I Let's give everybody a minute to get in. Um, yeah, I'm so excited. It's February. It's our month of love, and I think a lot of times it's easy for us to focus on romantic love in February, right? Valentine's Day gets an awful lot of attention, and I think that it's important to remember to focus on some self-love, celebrating your best girlfriends, right? Your best gals with Galentine's Day. And then also, we can't forget about spreading as much love as we can out into the world. Uh, um, Random Act of Kindness Day is February 17th, and it's a big deal for us at Bloom. We love it. And we even we added a Random Act of Kindness page to our planners that we're going to talk about. So that's our kind of our goal, our agenda for tonight. We're going to talk about some self-love and writing that letter to ourselves, or maybe even a love letter to ourselves. We're going to talk about how to celebrate our platonic best friendships and how to spread some extra love and kindness out into the whole world. So it's going to be really fun. At the end, I'm going to give you guys some information about a giveaway as well. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I figured we would start out by talking about that page. It's the second page in your planner. I see people starting to check in the comments. Hi, good evening. Thank you so much. It lets me know that at least the comments are working. So when we flip over into our planner, that first main page in there is the letter to myself. And this can be a hard letter to write if you haven't written one before. I've seen a couple, there we go. I've seen some people asking questions about it in the community. I also saw some people, Sierra, I just looked them up too. Sierra had a great one sharing hers. I'll tag the person who I saw. Someone else at the beginning of the year did an amazing breakdown with their letter where you could see that they had, it was like broken into sections. So it was a letter to themselves, but it was if they wanted to talk about health, if they needed to talk about work, whatever they needed to come back to, it was all broken down in sections, which was amazing. I see lots of people saying hi now. Thank you guys so much. So when we're talking about writing these letters to ourselves, we're going to talk about our general letter, right? Some tips on writing your regular letter as it's written in here, but also how we can help turn that into a love letter to ourselves, how to take it up a notch. So when we're talking about why it's important to write this letter, right? Why is this even a page in our planners? It's mostly two major things, right? There's huge emotional catharsis to it. The act of going through and acknowledging where you are now and where you want to be, and then emotionally supporting yourself down the road when you need that encouragement to look back on. You get both sides, right? That's super important. And self-reflection in and of itself is a huge benefit, taking that time and that space to intentionally think about what you're doing and where you want to be, and knowing yourself enough to know what you might need to hear in those hard times. All of that really helps you get a deeper connection with yourself and those emotions. It also has huge motivational benefits, right? So the way it's written up here is we know that eventually you're going to lose some of that new year motivation, that momentum. So having a letter to yourself, to look back on in difficult times is going to help to keep you on track, keep you motivated, keep you pushing. And we've talked a lot about before when we looked at our goals list and our vision board, that the act of writing down your goals, just that in and of itself, multiplies the chances of you following through and being successful. So the same holds true in your letter. When you're writing that letter to yourself, you are taking that time to make sure you're listing out your goals, where your future self, where you want you to be. And I think that that is a really big step to keep you on task. Also celebrating progress, right? So not just focusing on where you want to be, but also acknowledging where you are starting from, what you've already accomplished, how far you've come, and then you can tackle how far you still need to go. So that's all of the benefits of writing out that letter. If anybody watching has written their letters already, I would love to hear any feedback from you. If it was easy, if it was difficult, if you've written again, I'm just curious to see. There in our community, there isn't a huge amount of people sharing their letters the way we've seen people sharing their vision boards. So I'd also encourage you, if you're a member of our Bloom community, to maybe be a little brave and a little vulnerable and share your letters if you feel up to it. But I do understand too that it is a pretty personal process. I am planning on rewriting and writing a love letter to myself, and I am also planning on sharing that to the group this week. So keep an eye out for that. But when we also talk about our letter, it's important to address how to write your letter. So having a safe and calm place to physically sit and have that quiet alone time is crucial, right? It has to be very intentional when you go to write this letter. And you want to make sure that the mood is set. So if you need some calming music, if you need to light a candle, if you need a cozy blanket, if you just need like a clean, quiet space, that's fine too. But whatever you think you would be able to be internal, right? Wherever you're going to be able to get inside your head and really get honest with yourself, take the time to make that setting right for you. And then you can write your letter directly in your planner. If you've already filled that out and now you want to write a second letter, you can pick some favorite stationery. If you're a typer, you can type it up and print it out and place it in here, or have it somewhere where you can look back on it. There is a method of writing letters to yourself where you don't ever actually end up reading them again. That's not this kind of letter. Where this type of letter, and a love letter or a motivational letter, is meant to be looked at somewhat frequently, not just in hard times, but in good times too, to again, just celebrate maybe how far you've come. Hillary said that she's going to be sharing her letter soon in the group. And I love that. Thank you so much, Hillary. You've always been so open and honest and vulnerable with us, and I just appreciate that. It definitely helps kind of set the tone and let other people know that it's a safe space to share. So thank you. But yeah, and if creativity speaks to you, you can add all kinds of stuff to your letter. You can, have fun pens. You can do your themes kind of color coded. You can doodle. But if that's not your style, don't feel pressure that your letter has to look a certain way either. Don't get caught up in that, because, that's just extra fluff. If it keeps you excited to write it, then by all means go for it, but don't think that it has to look a certain way. Oh, Jessie's going to share hers with us too. That's great. Thank you so much. All right, so when you're starting out your letter, the best and easiest way that I found in my research is to start by reflecting on the present. So really taking that time to, again, think of where you're at, be honest with yourself, and embrace some of your quirks maybe, acknowledging, what's been going great, what hasn't been going great. There's a couple of people saying they're going to share their letters. I love that. and outline some lessons that maybe you learned in the previous year so that you can, as you're learning new lessons, whether those are easy lessons or tough lessons in the next year, you can look back and see that you made it through and you learned from, any hiccups in the past, and you're going to be able to do that again. So definitely think about that. And once you have a good grasp on your present, then you can start visualizing the future. So starting to think about some clear and very attainable goals. So maybe you want to break your letter down by season, right? Maybe quarterly is a little less daunting than focusing on the whole year, right? Me saying, oh, by the end of 2024, I want to have $5,000 extra in my savings account. That might seem, well, how am I going to do that? But being able to say, like, every month I'm going to put away X amount of dollars so that at the end of the year I have what I need, or something that you can actually measure, and also something that you think is realistic. It's great to have a stretch goal, but if you set your goals way out of range, you're going to see it still being far away, and there's a good chance that that could unmotivate you, right? Demotivate you. Also, this is a safe place to write some of those hopes and dreams. So I encourage you to do a little daydreaming when you write your letter. Think of what amazing things could come. Think about, there's another page in our planners that we briefly talked about before, where it's writing out your ideal schedule, like your ideal week. And this one, my ideal week. So think of what your ideal life is going to look like next year, right? When you knock out all those goals, like you have more time with your family, you are able to talk about all the books you read, you have a beautiful garden and all your own produce because you spent all the spring prepping for it. Whatever that ideal situation might be, I just encourage you to do a little daydreaming and insert that, or infuse your letter with that spirit behind it. So I definitely think on our letter, we have it starting as Dear Me. If you're writing your own, feel free to write whatever you want, but make sure that it is a personal greeting. You're addressing your future self, and try to go into it with some excitement and enthusiasm as much as you can. Definitely start by sharing your present emotions, your state of mind, where you're starting from, and then add any encouragements or affirmations even that you think your future self is going to need when you're coming back to these. And sorry, I'm reading reading comments while I'm talking, so that you can come back to them and have those affirmations, say those statements out loud, and kind of refocus yourself. I think that's a great section to add, and it might be less daunting than having to write out multiple paragraphs. So someone in our Facebook group said it's their third year with a Bloom planner. Is this the first year with the letter to self? In the smaller planners, I'm not positive. I did just start with Bloom last summer, but I do know that letter to myself is super important, and I'm pretty sure it's in all of them now. But even if it's not, or you don't feel like you have space in your smaller planner to write everything that you need, then I would suggest writing it somewhere else, and you can always print it out and add it, or print it and tuck it into one of the pockets. So that way you can look back on it later, right? You can just pop it right in the back. Okay, I have the quick question. I have a vision planner, but I'm at a loss of how to use the columns that are in the daily vision planner. There's definitely, Selenia, there's definitely a lot of inspiration in the community. So if you haven't joined the community yet, I see you're watching from the Facebook page. We have our Bloom Daily Planners community. You can put in a request to join, and there's a whole guide section that we have some vision planners saved. But my favorite way to use it myself is, I don't think I have it right here, but I use a vision planner. And what I do is basically have it as timed in my columns, or I'll draw a line across and have the top half of my column for work and the bottom half for home. But definitely apply or try to join the group if you aren't already, and we can get you some inspiration in there. Thank you for your question. That was great. Okay, sorry, let me get refocused. So we have our regular letter, right? You always want to end sincerely. You're an amazing, capable human, right? We have that at the bottom, but you can put whatever ending you think your future self is going to need to hear, whether that's, you're a bad bee and you got this, or, something a little more soft and loving. That's fine. But some interesting ways that you can turn this around and make it more of a love letter to yourself. And maybe, like I said, it's a supplement to this, would be to definitely, like we said before, acknowledge and celebrate some of those quirks, some traits that are special to you. You are so unique, and you are, right, you're the only you that there is. So there has to be some great things about you. So I encourage you to try to make a list to go with your letter of maybe 3 to 5 positive things that you love about yourself, right? That's a page in our planners too, right? I love myself because, and I feel best when. So think of these. I love myself because I am, right? You want I am statements. I am creative. I am honest. I am brave. I'm smart. All of those things. And don't think about it from a point of how you serve others, right? So, like, yes, I am a good mom, but when I'm looking at these, I'm really trying to make it about me, and not about how I'm useful to other people. Those are great too, and those are not to be diminished. That's not my goal with telling you that, but really getting to the heart of your personal traits that make you special and stand out. Those are the kinds of things that you want to put into your love letter. Some other things that you can do is making sure that you are expressing gratitude for yourself. Like we said before, acknowledging how far you've come, writing, um, every struggle you've ever dealt with, you've survived and come out on the other side, or else you wouldn't be here. So taking that time to be grateful for everything that you've done and highlighting your inner beauty. So really, yes, it's great to be confident in your outer appearance, and I hope that everyone feels confident when they get up in the morning. If we lived in a world where that was true for everyone, that would be amazing, but unfortunately, it might not be. So this kind of love letter is a great place to maybe leave some of that aside and really focus on, again, that inner beauty, those things that really make you stand out, and focus on that. So that might be resilience, kindness, those traits that sometimes we overlook when we get caught up in how we might look in an outfit, right? We don't need to focus on that in our letter. We want to think of all of the great things that are not even a question. Again, a great place to add in some affirmations. I had a lot of fun making a self-love affirmation picture for our Instagram, and we shared it on our Facebook page as well. So a lot of like, sorry, I'm trying to get over a cold. I am kind, I am amazing, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm honest. So this is a great place if you're writing your love letter to doodle or add some of those affirmations as well. And definitely take some time to think about your self-care, even if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, some kind of time you can designate every day to your self-care, and maybe make some promises to yourself in your letter. It's so difficult. I know we're not all, it's not 100% women, but we are mostly a female community. And it's so hard sometimes as a woman, and that's whether you're a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend, an employee, a wife, any of those things, it can be so easy to get caught up in the day to day and forget to love yourself. So, writing your love letter, maybe you write one love letter a month to yourself and you take 20 minutes the first Sunday of the month and you write your love letter to yourself. That would be huge self care, huge. So, think of things like that, and it can be self care doesn't have to look the same for everybody. So for some people, it might be a bubble bath or reading or taking a walk, meditating, journaling, sitting in a garden and weeding, writing your letters. That kind of goes with journaling. Um, Painting, right? Meredith, who was on live with us last month, she did her amazing layout. She's a beautiful watercolorist. And I know that when she kind of gets in the zone and she can just paint, that is a form of self care for her. That time taken out of her day to make sure that she can create and embrace that side of her. So get creative when you're thinking about what that self care might look like, because you may love naps and bubble baths. I hate naps and bubble baths. So, me trying to conform to what somebody else might think isn't going to bring me joy. So, it's okay if what you're doing doesn't look like what everybody else is doing. Um, Selenia said, this planner is a great way to boost your self confidence. It makes you challenge yourself 100%. I love that. That is definitely our goal, to help you bloom into the best version of yourself. And if our planners can help you get there while staying organized, even better, right? Let's see what else we've got on my notes. Also, in your love letter, I think it's super important to conclude with another words of love, right? Some kind of heartfelt expression, just something to end it on a really strong note. So, like, I love this. Sincerely, an amazing, capable human. Sincerely, or even not sincerely, like, I love you so much. You're doing great, right? It doesn't have to be crazy and eloquent. If that's you, I love it. But it's not everybody doesn't usually feel like me. But something that when you go back to read it, you're going to be like, man, I feel good about that. So those are my tips for writing your letter. And like I said, I will make sure that I share my letter, my first love letter to myself, in the group this week or this weekend. If you are feeling up to it, I would love to see your letters. You can put them in the community. You can always tag me, or me and the girls are always scrolling through the Facebook community to try to catch everybody's posts, and kind of see what everybody's been up to. And I just love the ones that I've seen so far have been amazing. So that is our first major topic. So something else that's fun that I want to talk about is Galentine's Day. So Galentine's Day is new-ish to me, and I think it's really fun. It's usually celebrated the day before Valentine's Day. So February 13th is Galentine's Day. And it's supposed to be a day to celebrate your best gals, right? Your gal pals. So I think it probably originated from people that knew they weren't going to have a super fun Valentine's Day. And I do think that in a lot of cases, Valentine's Day can be very polarizing, right? Either you love Valentine's Day or you hate Valentine's Day. I've never really met anybody that was kind of indifferent. And maybe it comes in waves, right? Maybe you've had some great ones, maybe you've had some not so great ones. But Galentine's Day seems like a sure thing, right? Whether it's you have one good friend, whether you have 10 good friends, whether you have a sister you want to celebrate or cousins. For me, I also don't feel like it has to just be friends. I take that day to help celebrate my daughters. And my, like my cousins, my little cousins. I think that those times to celebrate each other as women is so huge. And if we have a whole day dedicated to it, I think that that's amazing. So I can't see the name, but someone in our community posted that they lost their husband, and so they're looking forward to Galentine's. My heart goes out to you. I can't imagine what that must be like to have to face a holiday like that. But I am glad that you are embracing Galentine's Day then for that exact reason, right? Find something that you can celebrate to help you get through the hard days that are coming. But that's very tough. So thank you for sharing that. A lot of the things when I researched for Galentine's were like parties and brunches, things like that. And if you're up to that, I think it's great. Pinterest has 1 in a million ideas on party ideas, themes, decorations, all kinds of things like that. But I don't want you to feel like you have to have this huge party and plan everything in advance just to celebrate that day, especially because now we're already less than a week out. So some other fun things that I saw was like a secret Cupid, like a secret Santa. So you and your friends could swap names, right? Pick random names, and you would just gift one of your friends instead of having to worry about gifting all of your friends. Or Michelle, one of our co-founders, had a really cool Christmas brunch where her and all her girls, all of her friends got together and they all brought something that they loved, and enough for everyone. So everyone took home like a little collection of all of their friends' favorite things. And I thought that was amazing. I saw some inspiration like that as well. I also would encourage you to embrace the Taylor Swift era that we are in and make some friendship bracelets. If you're not feeling particularly crafty, we love the Little Words Project. You can look them up on social. They're blowing up like crazy right now. But we do have some Bloom bracelets that we've gotten through them. They're an amazing company. So you can order custom bracelets or you can make your own custom bracelets. I may have been working on a similar project for some of the other Bloom girls that I'll be sharing on social media this week as well. And then some other things that I saw that were fun were like a nail date. So just you and your bestie going to a salon or a nail place to get your nails done. And definitely celebrating, like I said, your mini gal pals. It can be a really nice time to kind of set that intention of celebrating with them and letting them know that there are different kinds of love. My daughter is 9 and I have two. One's 9 and one's 7. My 7-year-old seems a little indifferent. My 9-year-old is so desperate to have a Valentine next week, and she's very concerned about it. And so we had a good talk about how having your close friends and having your galentines and that is just as important as having romantic love, and especially at 9, I don't want her focused on that either, but for all of us I think it can get overwhelming having Valentine's so prominent everywhere you go. It's good to have kind of that backup. Oh, someone's planner group is doing a Galentine's Day and they're doing a white elephant exchange. That's amazing. I love that. And I also want to know more about your planner group. So after this, I'm going to find you and I'll send you a message because I want to pick your brain about what that looks like. Okay, so something else that I want to share with you guys for Galentine's related. This one is could be something that you hand out to your best gals if you have a party, or this could also be part of your letter, your love letter to yourself. So this is a printable that we have on our website. I love myself because, and it's again, those I am statements. So I just printed this out. It's so much fun. We also I have so many things here. Wow. I printed out these printables for our encouragement cards. And so the way this works is you get, what is that, 10 cards, and you get the fronts, and then you also get the backs. And what you can do, you can either, if you have a printer that prints both sides, you can obviously print them both sides. But you guys know I love my little tape runner here. Kathy, we can definitely look into that. I've been focusing on starting up these lives again. But Kathy said, can Bloom host a monthly live Zoom where we can hop on and connect and plan together? I will definitely take that up with the team and see what we can do / how quickly we can kind of get that into the work. But I know that there used to be Bloom Lives, and so I know that that's definitely something that they're going to be very open to. And we can get to work on that. Anytime you guys have requests like that, we would love to hear it. Please, please, please make sure that you are a member of our Facebook community, because we get a lot of ideas and inspiration from you guys over there. And it's also a great place. We try to put in polls or ask for topic suggestions and things like that over there a lot. So I use that double-sided tape and I glued my cards together, right? So I have the backs on one side and the fronts on the other. And I have a paper trimmer, but you could also just do this with scissors. And you can just trim these down. So this is great if you need like a last minute option, but we also have these encouragement cards as a card deck where you get those cards. We talked about them when we talked about our vision boards, because I thought they were a really fun way to add some encouragement for yourself on your vision board. But like I said, if you're stuck or it's kind of the 11th hour, these are a great thing you can print out and use. And that way you have the back, you can just write your little note. The front has something super sweet, and you can give these out to, I mean, anybody, but especially now with what we're talking about, to your gals. Let me grab my cards. I know I just had them here. They got tucked somewhere, I think. Of course. Okay. Well, we have we have 4 different main card decks that I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight. We had our encouragement cards. We have momflement cards, which are the same idea, but it has like a mom related saying so that you can encourage a mom that could use a little extra boost. And we also have random act of kindness cards, which I will show you that in a second. And then we have our love notes, which are, there were some in there that I think were still appropriate for a friend, right? It's like, you're like pizza, everybody loves you. Things like that, but are also more meant to be a little more romantic themed. So we're going to do a giveaway as soon as this live is over in all 3 places that it's posting right now. So YouTube, our Facebook community, and our Facebook page. I'm going to add a link and pin it in the comments to a Google form. And we're going to give away 4 card decks. So the form's going to ask for your name, your email, and then what your preferred card deck would be. And we're going to pick 4 random people from the list to send a card deck to, and we'll email you. And the reason I'm doing that is just, it's the safest. If you ever see anyone commenting on our videos with like, hey, DM us or email us here because you won something, that's not real. So by submitting that form, it keeps all of your information safe. It means I can email you directly to get your shipping information if you're a winner. So if you were interested in trying out one of our card decks for free, I would love to celebrate and send some love to you guys. And we're going to give away 4 of those card decks. So that brings us to our last topic, which is spreading more love, sending more love out into the world. So like I said before, Random Act of Kindness Day is February 17th. It's coming up pretty quick. We do have in our planners our Random Acts of Kindness page. And the way that this was developed is so you have 2 random act of kindness goals through for each month through the year. And you can kind of do like a habit tracker where you check them off as you go. And so some of these, right, are like gift or lend your favorite book to a friend, support a local farmer's market, give a great online review for a business that you love. So there's just a wide range of simple little things that you can do. And if you skip one, say February isn't great for you, and you only get to do one, you just, add in number 4 to March. There's nothing wrong with that. So I love that this is here. Bloom partnered up with the Random Act of Kindness Foundation. It's all the information's in your planner too, randomactsofkindness.org. And they have a ton of, what's the word I'm looking for? Resources. They have a ton of resources available to help inspire you and get you motivated to help putting that in. Someone said, can we get that put in the ultimate planner next year? I will get it added to the list for sure. I'll make sure that it's on our to-dos. I love that idea. It should be everywhere, right? So besides our planner page, some other things that we can do. I did say before, we have random acts of kindness cards. So we've already seen how they go together, but it's the same idea with the front and back. And we also have that card deck. So these are all themed more towards being kind, right? So believe there's good in the world and also be the good. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. I love that. That's one of my favorites. And then these are a little different because on the back, they say, you've been hit with a random act of kindness. Hope you're having an amazing day, or how many smiles can you create today? Pay it forward. Thanks for sharing the love. So it's an easy way to, you can just hand these out and tell people you hope they have a great day. I know there's been a couple times where Bloom has done like a challenge, and everybody went out and like bought someone else's coffee, or did a random act of kindness, and they would hand, like a cashier would give this one of these cards to the next person in line, kind of thing, especially during COVID. So something like that, just to keep in mind. It'll help you to stay really intentional with adding more kindness and coming from a place of how you can make someone else's day if you have the cards with you. So I love that idea. But something else that I really wanted to do, that it just seemed really fun. I looked up ideas for acts of kindness for kids. And obviously you can, make these, write them up yourself or work with your kids to write them up. But something that I really want to do with my girls, and I'm going to work on with them this week or this weekend, I typed up this list. So it's everything from write thank you notes to our teachers, to express our gratitude, create kindness rocks. This is one of their favorites. We did this last summer, where you paint the rocks with positive messages and then go leave them. They hid them around the playground, and then we went and sat on like the other side of the bleachers, and they got to watch people find their rocks, and they were so excited. You could literally see them like light up from inside. It was amazing. So I love that idea. Make care packages, pick up litter, donate books. So my plan for these is we're going to cut them out. They're going to help me because they love to do that stuff too. And we can add some stickers and things. And then this is going to be our kindness jar. And it might seem hokey, right? It definitely seems like a kid thing. So if this doesn't speak to you, that's all fine. But I don't think it has to just be for kids. I think it's a fun way, maybe for you and a friend to do this together, or you and your partner to do it together. But cutting these out and putting them in the jar, and on a day where you have some time, or the same kind of thing as our self-care, maybe scheduling that like the last Saturday of every month, we take an hour, we pull an act of kindness from the jar, and we're going to decorate the jar and stickers and ribbon and glitter, I'm sure. But we pick an item from the jar and we go and intentionally do a random act of kindness from our list. And I just think it's going to be really fun to kind of watch them, see how far their ripple can go, right? When you do that act of kindness for someone, it could end with them, but chances are that's going to brighten their day, and then they're going to be able to go out and brighten someone else's day, and then someone else's day, and it kind of ripples out into the world. So that's our goal with our random acts of kindness. So yes, I just thought that was a cute idea. We do have those printables. We have the card deck available if you would rather just have them pre-made. We have your inspiration right in your planner already. I can tell you firsthand, I have been the recipient of a random act of kindness. I did share this in the community as well, but I was having a really, really bad day and was at the grocery store trying to grab something right after work for dinner. And I was on the verge of tears at the self-checkout. And a lady came up to me and said, "I think you could use this." And she held out her hand, and I was very nervous to take whatever she was handing me. But for some reason, because I normally wouldn't, I held out my hand, and she dropped in this little tiny duck, this little tiny baby duck, just like a little plastic thing. I'm sure she bought in bulk from Amazon or something. And she was like, "It's a drop of sunshine for your day. I hope it, I hope you know that there are people out there that see you." If I wasn't on the verge of crying before, that certainly set me over the edge to have someone say that. But it was so nice to see that, I'm in my own head, upset, thinking about all these things. And here we tend to think that, nobody cares, nobody's paying attention, everyone's in their own heads. And this lady saw that I was having a hard time. And instead of, you know, making a show of it or making a face at me or um, just going about her business, she took time out of her day to give me a little sunshine. And it's turned around my whole day. And I have that duck, and he's on my desk at work, and I see him all the time. So one act of kindness can definitely make a huge impact on someone's day, and you never know how long that kind of thing will stick with them. So that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk with you guys about for our month of love. I hope that this inspires you to not let Valentine's Day rule the whole month, but to also embrace your self-love, your best platonic love, and your love for the world, sending out as much kindness as we can. I am so grateful to everybody who hopped in. Like I said, as soon as this is over, I will be posting a link on all 3 platforms, and I'll pin it to the top where I can so that you can enter in for a chance to win one of our 4 card decks. Well, we'll be giving away 4. You can tell me which one you would prefer. That'll be in the link as well. That's going to go until midnight tomorrow. For anybody who is watching the replay, you have until midnight Eastern on Thursday, February 8th. And yeah, otherwise, I hope that you guys have a great Galentine's Day, Valentine's Day, Random Act of Kindness Day. If you end up celebrating any or all of those and you post about it or you want to share, you can share in our community. You can share online and tag Bloom. I would love to see any of those things that you guys do. Keep an eye out because I have some special surprises coming for the girlies at work. That I'm really excited to share, and we'll be posting more of that on our socials this weekend. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you have ideas or inspiration for future lives, please let us know. We will be back. Let me make sure I get the date right. Let me flip to the page in the planner. There we go, February. So on February 19th, that's a Monday, President's Day, we are going to be back here live with another special guest. And our topic for that day will be more like spring cleaning and home planning based, but we will give more information the week before. So keep an eye out for that. I'll get it scheduled ahead of time, just like we did for this. So start getting your brains going, thinking of whatever organizing, home, cleaning questions you may have for us, and keep an eye out for that announcement coming. But it'll definitely be Monday the 19th at 8 p.m. Eastern, just like tonight. Yeah, so like I said before, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope that you take this chance to bring some extra love into your week and weekend, and we will see you soon. Happy blooming.